Right, in this video, we'll start making our little penguin here. So the big idea is that we're going to work with kind of basic shapes and just modify it. So I'm going to zoom in. You zoom in, same as in Illustrator. And so kind of the basic shape here is a rectangle with a little bit of a rounded top. And so what I'm going to do is grab my rectangle tool and make sure I'm in the right layer and then just draw a rectangle. And now we'll do a couple little things there, so that's not too bad. What there is there's a fill and the stroke. We've talked about that. I'm going to turn off my fill, and you can do it just by that, so that we can kind of see what we're doing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in. Now you see how that pulled in all the corners. If I click once, I think I can get that. Hold Shift, click that. And then I think I've got, oops, I've only got the one. That's okay, I'll just do the one for the moment. And, nope. Click and click again, there we go. Bring that one in. And basically, that's the curve there. I can pull it up a bit and bring it in a bit. And then this one, we will sort of do a little bit of a difference here. I'm going to sort of round it around the feet here. So I'm going to pull this in. Again, click once and then drag it. Something like that, I think. So there we've got our basic body. Next we'll do the eye, which is just a circle. And so again, whoops, there we go, ellipse. If you hold the Shift key, you'll get a perfect circle. And then if you hold the space, you can move it around as well. So I'm just going to do that. So there we go, that's good enough. So we've got that circle there. And to get this little bit, we can use a different tool, which is under the line segment ones. And I just have to think about where that is. I don't think it's there. There's line segment. I'm looking for the arc tool. Now, I think the trouble is, yes, I think the trouble is I've got it on simplified tools. So let me see here. Window, tools. It's on basic. I'm going to go up to advanced. That gives me all the tools. So if I go into that line segment, there's my arc tool. And this one I always forget how to do. I think I can do this. So it creates an arc, and then what I'm going to do is just sort of rotate it and bring it over there. And if I want to make it a little bit thicker, perhaps, I can come under Properties, and under the stroke, I can pop it up a little bit. You can also change the caps. So the caps at the moment are this hard edge. If I click on the stroke, I could put sort of a rounded cap on the end. Probably looks a little bit better, a little bit softer. There we go. And what else could we do here? Okay, so what we're going to do next is do the hands, or the nose actually. And so the nose is kind of like a triangle. And so I'm going to grab this tool again, Polygon tool. Now instead of clicking and dragging, I'm going to just click once, and I can set the number of sides. So I'm going to set that to 3. And there's my triangle, obviously too big. Bring it down a bit. Now, if you want to keep the proportions, you'll have to hold Shift in Illustrator. You don't have to do that in Photoshop. And then I'm just going to pull in, I think I can, that's the center. So I'm looking to pull in the corners. If I do it all at once, it will do that. And then I can obviously, stretch it and rotate it and do whatever I need to do here. So I'm going to rotate it, something like that. Now it's kept that thickness from before, so I'm just going to reduce the thickness there. If you grab it from the center, it will move. Pull this out a bit. Pull this down. Now I think what's happening, it's probably because I've rotated it a little bit. It's not doing exactly what I want. Let's just see here. Well, I can pull that out. That's better. I think something was grabbing it. There we go. So not bad. We got the nose there. So you just have to get a, play around and get a feel for these. I'm going to do the same thing for his arm. In fact, I'm just going to take the same one. And you can do either the Alt and pull it away. And then so just rotate it. Or you could do Control D, will also duplicate it. Pull that out. Maybe pull this down a little bit. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to get the idea. And last one, we'll do the tail as well. So I think I can just duplicate this again. So this time I'll do Control D, which it should have duplicated it. Yeah, maybe not. Control D. There we go, I think. No. Edit. Duplicate, or object, I guess. Object. Duplicate. Where is duplicate here? Don't see it. I thought edit. Well, I guess copy and paste. So Control C, Control V. There we go. Okay, and then we'll do the tail. So rotating that around. And probably pulling this, rotating a little bit, pulling it up. Something like that. Again, don't worry about what's sort of underneath because we're going to deal with that after. There we go. What else we got here? The feet. So I'm going to do a rectangle and then just round them and then sort of two of them. So again, sort of looking at what your basic shape is and then sort of dealing with that. So that's that there. Pull that down. Click once and then pull in that corner. There we go. And then I'm just going to, I'll just hold the Alt key with the move one here. And just bring that over. There you go. So what else do we need? Some hair on the back of the head. I'll just use that line segment tool. So you can just click and drag, click and drag. That's looking pretty good. The star in the pentagon. So we'll do that. So there is that polygon tool. Click once, bump that up to 5 sides. Again, way too big. That's okay. Just holding shift there will maintain the proportions. So that's probably pretty good. Not too bad. I'll just zoom in a little bit there. And yep, I'll do a star as well. I think there's a star under here, the star tool. This one, I think if you click as well, you can figure out how many points. And it looks like we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go with the 5 point. Again, I could have reduced the size, I guess, originally, but it's interesting. I'll just click on this one, hold shift again. Looks like it needs to be rotated. If you hold the shift down, it will rotate, and it's not quite doing it, so we'll have to manually do this. Let me just sort of zoom in a little bit. Again, the size. Just rotate it. So roughly. Whoops. I'm holding shift. That's why it's not moving nicely. There we go. So that's looking pretty decent. I think we're okay. We can also sort of do the stuff around the object here. So I'm just going to do 2 sort of squares again, rectangles. So I'm just going to take this one. There's that. And probably another one off here. Again, if they don't quite line up yet, that's fine. I'll just do it off the screen. That's okay. Some circles there. So I would just take my circle, draw a couple ellipses, like I would do one. Basically what I would do, and then just drag, and don't worry too much about the size yet. So just get those in there. Oops. And then once I've got all those in there, just go around holding shift if you want to keep them as perfect circles, and just change the size, get them roughly the size, and then I would just move them after. These ones are really small. I probably should zoom in a bit, but you get the idea. Good. So I'll just sort of clean that up a little bit. Again, that one might be a little big, so. It is really just a matter of what you think looks good. Okay, exciting stuff I know here. Good. Whoops. Control Z, of course, undoes. There we are. So that's looking reasonably good. Let me just zoom out. Oh, a little bit of the grass here. Again, depending on what you want to do, you could do the arc or just the whatever tool. So I'm just going to drag that. I don't know. I might want to stretch it more straight next time. That one, well, let me just do this one. Oops. Just do that again. Control Z again. It just undoes. I'll do that. And then I'll do one straighter one in the middle. Now, if you want to make any sort of changes with the curves, if you use the direct selection tool, which is this guy here, you can actually get in, sorry about the way the screen blinks there, and control it a bit more. These are with your handles. We'll talk more about these later on, but you can kind of control the curve more with those handles. So that way, I'm sort of just reducing the curve on those, maybe a bit more closely with the initial concepts. I'm going to pull this one, oops, pull this one in as well, pull this one back. There we go. So that's reasonably well done. And I got rounded corners on that. That's probably good. All right. So I think that's pretty good for our drawing here. I guess I could have done it there and moved it in. I mean, that would have been easier, make it a bigger one and then just make it smaller. Either way, we've got pretty well it all laid out.